This is for the Ironman 140.6 distance. So after you check in, you're going to be given 5 bags. You will get your morning clothes bag, you will get a transition 1 and a transition 2 bag, and you will get 2 special needs bags. And the first bag we're going to talk about is your morning clothes bag, or also known as your dry clothes bag. So this is a bag to put in whatever you showed up to the race in, or you can just put in some clothes for what you want to wear after you cross that finish line. So maybe a pair of dry shorts, a dry t-shirt, and maybe some sandals would probably be a good thing to throw in there. The first bag, or the second bag, is the transition 1 bag. So this is the bag that you're going to go to when you're getting out of the swim and when you're getting ready to start the bike. So this is going to be placed in a large transition area, maybe a basketball court or a tennis court, any area that's going to be able to contain about a couple thousand bags. Now, since the bags all look the same, one of the things that I would recommend doing is maybe getting some bright fluorescent duct tape and taping that over the top of your bag just to make it a little bit more visible. Now, it's nothing to worry about too much. There is a ton of volunteers that are going to help you find your bag pretty easily. But since a lot of people don't do the fluorescent duct tape over their bag, I found that it was way easier to spot your bag. I would also throw in some bike shorts and a bike jersey. Since you have access to go into a changing tent, you can throw on a pair of comfortable bike shorts and a bike jersey. Or if you're someone who doesn't want to do that, some people will just wear the tri-suit or the tri-shorts for the bike. You can throw in a watch. If you don't have a tri-watch or a waterproof watch already, it might be helpful just to throw in a digital watch so you can help keep track of your time. You're throwing some sunglasses and some socks, and maybe throw in some supplements in there that you'll want to carry on the bike, and some aspirin or Tylenol. One important thing to note is do not try any new supplements on race day. I would only use what you've been training with. I would also recommend putting in a chamois and a small towel. So when you get out of the swim, the volunteers are going to help you take your wetsuit off, and they're going to hose you down and get that sand off. But once you get into the changing tent, you're probably still going to have some more sand on your feet. It's not very comfortable riding with sand in your socks, so that little towel is going to help knock the rest of that sand off. I would also recommend putting in some chafing cream. When you're in the changing tent, put on some chafing cream. If you don't and you rub yourself raw, you're going to have a really hard bike and you're going to have a really tough marathon ahead of you. So while you're on the bike, you're going to have access to your special needs bag. It's really important to keep in mind, whatever you put in this bag, you will not get back. Whatever you put in your transition bags, you'll get that back at the end of the race, but your special needs bags, any items you place in there are going to get thrown out. So don't put anything valuable that you might want back. So in this bag, I'd recommend putting in an extra inner tube, maybe a CO2 cartridge. Hopefully you don't get a flat tire, but if you do and you want to restock up on some of that, you can throw that back on your bike. You can put a few supplements in there, maybe some salt tablets or gels. I also like to actually put some food in there, maybe some soda or chips, a pickle juice shot, or an Uncrustable sandwich with peanut butter and jelly. Anything that kind of has a little more sodium or sugar to it, is something my body usually needs at that point, and maybe a banana. You're going to have aid stations along the ride. There's plenty of aid stations. They'll have the typical stuff, like your water, your Gatorade, your banana, typical aid station food. The next bag is your transition 2 bag. Now this is the bag for when you're coming off your bike and when you're getting ready to start the run. So you'll come across that transition line, you'll rack up your bike, and you'll head back over to that transition area. You're going to grab your transition 2 bag and you're going to head over to the changing tent. What I'd recommend putting in here, you might want to put in an extra pair of socks. After doing the full bike, sometimes it's nice to throw on a dry pair of socks. I would put in a couple more supplements in there. If you decided to go with a pair of bike shorts on the bike, I wouldn't recommend doing a marathon in bike shorts. I would change into some tri-shorts or maybe some comfortable running shorts. You're going to want to put your running shoes in there, maybe a water belt or another race belt with a pouch on it where you can store supplements, and maybe a couple extra water bottles. If you're on the bike, you might lose a couple of your water bottles along the way, so it might be a good idea just to have a couple extra just in case. And just another reminder, the Transition 2 bag, you will get all the items back that you put in here. Now the last bag, which is your special needs bag for the run, you're going to have access to this bag 2 times. And again, you will not get it back. I would put in some more shaving cream, because whatever you put on earlier on the bike might have worn off. I would throw in some more supplements, just like my special needs bag for the bike. I put in some whole food, like another Uncrustable sandwich, small can of soda, maybe another pickle juice shot, and some Tylenol. By the time I got to the marathon, I really didn't want a whole lot of this stuff, but I kind of just put in there as a just in case. Another thing I might recommend putting, and this might sound a little cheesy, might be a motivational letter to yourself, or it could be from a family member, or just an inspirational quote. Now, this is a really mentally challenging race, so by the time you get to the run, you're going to be tired, and it never helps, or never hurts to have a little bit extra motivation. So being able to pull something out and read it to give that little boost is very helpful. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and good luck on race day.